Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 30th of September 2020, to talk about everything that went down tonight on AEW, Dynamite, and NXT. We're going to start with AEW though. And I do want to apologize. I've got these just mad hiccups right now. I was waiting as long as I could to go live. And then I thought the hiccup stopped. Then when I clicked go live again, they came back. So I apologize. Hopefully they subside here within the next minute or so. Because I just can't get them to stop. I thought they stopped. So I said, all right, we're good to go live. And then they didn't. So I really do apologize. But with that, guys, I want to thank you for joining us here tonight. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. I know we've missed the last couple of Wednesdays. Last week, I had computer issues to where basically one of my hard drives died. And I had to freshly reinstall Windows on a whole new hard drive. Which I should have done that weeks ago when I bought the new hard drive. Because it runs, 25 times faster now. But regardless, the week before that, I did have some family stuff come up that made me unable to do the Wednesday review. Again, I apologize for these freaking hiccups. But we're here tonight. We're doing the Wednesday review. We're talking AEW. We're talking NXT. I know this is probably annoying for you guys. Let me take a nice big drink of my water here. See if that helps. But with that, guys, tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking AEW. We're going to be talking NXT. We're going to start with AEW because after we do NXT, we're going to do Takeover predictions as well. But remember, we're here twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. If you want to help us out and support us, you can do so a couple of different ways. You can do so either with some bit donations or with a subscription. You can be like Rosario 1983, who has subscribed at tier 1 for 3 months now. Really do appreciate that one, Rosario. But if you don't want to pony up the dough for a tiered subscription, but you're already paying Amazon that $12 a month, well, then you can subscribe to us for absolutely free. No extra charge to you, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. And with Prime Gaming, you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel that you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And we would greatly appreciate it if you supported us here with that Prime Gaming subscription on PW Unlimited. But with that, let's jump in and talk about AEW. Jay Penix has a question in the chat. Is it possible you could have someone with you chatting on reviews? I'm not 100% what you're asking, but you're asking if I'm going to get co-hosts on the reviews, maybe? And I try to get co-hosts. We had co-hosts back for the Clash of Champions review on Sunday. I'm going to try and get a co-host or two for the Takeover review this week. But as far as tonight goes, and probably Friday, ain't got nobody. As far as Nick goes, I have no clue. I honestly have no clue. But with that, we got AEW to talk about. AEW started up with Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Taz on commentary. They said Tony Schiavone was in the back trying to get an interview with FTR. A video package aired highlighting the Ricky Starks, Darby Allin stuff. A promo aired from Darby Allin's compound where one of his friends promised that Allin would get revenge on Starks. The first matchup of the night, of course, is Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks. It worked like this was a grudge match, and it really is a grudge match. The strikes were snug and stiff, and you really felt like these two guys wanted to go out there and hurt each other. Allin got some early shine with some strikes, a suplex, and on the apron, and a suicide dive. Brian Cage came out at one point to distract Darby Allin, which is good to see Brian Cage back. I know a week or two ago, Brian Cage tweeted out that he was ill and then took the tweet down. So it's good to see Brian Cage is feeling good and back on the road. Starks was able to, Will Hobbs came out to make the save to stop Brian Cage. He took care of Cage and the two brawled to the back. Starks was able to use the distraction to cut off Allin and flip the momentum. Darby Allin made a comeback and hit a code red. He traded more strikes. Allin hit a backpack stunner. He then teased a coffin drop off the second rope, but Starks caught him with a spear for a 2 count. Starks then went for an avalanche finisher. Allin kicked him off and hit a coffin drop to pick up the victory. So Darby Allin does defeat Ricky Starks here on Dynamite. Now the announcers previewed tonight's show, including telling us that Moxley will be taking on a challenger named by Eddie Kingston, and that Moxley is choosing, this is Moxley's decision, to put the AEW world title on the line tonight. Cody came to the ring for a promo next. They cut to commercial before he even began speaking. And they did this a couple times on Dynamite tonight, where they just abruptly cut to commercial, which was very weird. I know when Orange Cassidy came out for his match, Orange Cassidy started coming out, and then it just, all of a sudden we're at commercial. I'm like, whoa, huh? And there was another time where they were talking about something on commentary. Jim Ross said, let's tell you more about that, and then they went straight to commercial. So I don't know. After the break, though, Dasha Gonzalez was in the ring to interview Cody. She asked about the status of Cody's injury. Cody said that Al Snow once told him that you always wrestle hurt, but you should never wrestle injured. Cody said his injury is more than physical. Cody said it hurt to lose the TNT title in 3 minutes. When he was off, he got the call from Hollywood to appear on another show. Cody said that he heard people talking while he was away, talking about being the future and the ace. He said only 3 people have the right to speak of themselves in that way: Hikaru Shida, Jon Moxley, and now Brody Lee. Dasha asked Cody about his answer to Brody Lee's challenge. Cody said as an EVP, his answer to Lee is no, and he left the ring. Cody then came back to the ring, and he said no, as in no regrets. He then said next week, he accepts the challenge. Brody Lee then came down to the ring, and the two started to brawl as the locker rooms emptied. They tried to hold these two guys apart, and then all of a sudden at ringside, Brandy starts going crazy on Anna Jay. She had a flip dive off the post to the Dark Order. Anna Jay attacked Brandy, Nyla Rose, and I think her name is Kylan King. I'm not 100% sure. Jumped in to hold the two women apart. They had more of this pull apart in the ring with Cody and Brody Lee. Brody was pulled up onto the ramp, but he broke free, jumped back into the ring on Cody, and they let us know that next week on Dynamite, with the TNT title on the line, Cody will challenge Mr. Brody Lee in a dog collar match. And my first thought was, Cody should have kept that blonde hair, because he's going to let Brody Lee beat the crap out of him, bust him open, and he's going to bleed everywhere. Because that's what Cody likes to do. Cody likes to juice. Cody likes to get color. So in the back, Tony Schiavone was finally with FTR and Tully Blanchard. Cash Wheeler said that they did Best Friends a favor last week, refusing their challenge. He called Best Friends a glorified backyard wrestlers and participants and a participation trophy guys. He said SCU, they're different, and they deserve the shot. They're the first ever AEW World Tag Team titles. Schiavone asked Dax about the Young Bucks, and Dax actually, I think, threw out a Dave Meltzer reference where he said something about stars contributing to their matches and how they work their matches as they work their matches as far as trying to get stars. Not trying to have great matches, but just trying to get stars. He said, I guess that constitutes as earning a title shot, and maybe the Bucks could get a match at some point. Matt Jackson will then enter into frame, and he and an unnamed leg, who we were supposed to believe is Nick Jackson, super kicked Tony Schiavone. We then see Matt Jackson say, all right, Nick, let's leave. But we never actually see Nick, which Nick wasn't there. I'm just going to say it right now. Nick wasn't there. I believe for the last week, Nick's been sick from what I've heard. And he didn't travel, I guess, this week to Jacksonville. They pretended he was there, but he wasn't. FTR then said, hey, why kick that guy? We're right here. We got chins you can kick. We're ready to go. Kick us in the chin. Dasha was then with SCU after a break. They basically promised to win the tag team titles tonight. Scorpio Sky said he's been off doing his own thing, but it's time to get back to SCU and him and Frankie winning back the gold. Sean Spears was waiting for SCU at the curtain and mocked them by saying by wishing them good luck, basically. Hangman Page joined commentary for the World Tag Team title match. Ahara Baba says it's Kyle Lee. I don't think her name's Kyle Lee. Pretty sure it's like Kylan King. You might be thinking of somebody else, because I don't know of any females in AEW named Kyle. Give me 2 seconds and I can double check this. Let's Google. Yeah. Kilynn King. Kylan King. I was right. We got the World Tag Team title match. It was the 20-minute Brush with Greatness. Give me 1 second, guys. I thought this match was really, really good. Both teams worked great together. So Dax and Kaz began the match trading holds. Kaz hit a lariat and tagged in Sky. Sky hit a drop kick for a 1 count. Kaz blind tagged in and faced off with Sky. Or Cash, I mean. Sky and Cash did a series of drop downs and leapfrogs. Cash feigned a trip from Daniels on the floor, and the ref ejected Daniels, which was weird. The referee is going to throw out CD, but later, when Tully is clearly helping his team in front of the referee, the ref's just going to nonchalantly just say whatever about it. Bullshit. So Dax and Cash had some miscommunication and ended up on the outside at one point. Kazarian missed a baseball slide, but Sky hit a tope con Grillo to both of the members of FTR. FTR cut Sky off with a lariat on the outside before throwing him back in. FTR were now in control, working over Scorpio Sky before and during a break. After the break, Cash missed a charge in the corner. Dax tagged in. Cash took the ref. Sky cradled Dax, but the ref was tied up, and Sky only got a 2 off of this. Kazarian then tagged in and hit a series of leg lariats on Dax. He fought off interference. Cash then sent him into Dax. Cash tagged in and ate a Northern Light suplex and a Fisherman suplex for a pair of 2 counts at the 10-minute call. So we're about halfway through this match here. Cash hit a drop kick on Kazarian into a sunset flip by Dax for a 2. Kazarian hit a German on Dax. Sky then tagged in and used a high stack and a cover. But, again, only got 2 off of it. SCU tried a double pin on a sunset flip from Kaz and a high cross from Sky, but they only got a 2. Sky hit Dax with a cutter for a 2. A lot of near falls here towards the end. Dax powerbombed Kazarian. Cash hit a dragon suplex, again, near fall. Kazarian then crotched Kaz on the top rope and went for a superplex. Dax interfered. Kazarian countered a Doomsday Device attempt with a power slam. Sky used a series of cradles for 3 near falls on Cash. This is when Tully Blanchard would interfere by grabbing Cash's hand to block a schoolboy. The ref saw it. The ref blatantly, clearly saw it, did nothing about it. Yet, he's going to throw out CD? Christopher Daniels? Bullshit. Finish of the match came when Sky tried a suplex on Cash into the ring as Cash stood on the apron. Tully tripped Sky and held his foot. Cash covered Sky and picked up the victory. Again, I don't think the ref saw the second part, but he saw that first part and didn't do anything about it. This fucking referee. These referees in AEW are inconsistent. Very inconsistent with rules. So next up, actually during this tag team, it was either during or right before the tag team match, Jim Ross said that we have some big news to tell you about AEW Full Gear, their next pay-per-view. After the match, with Hangman Page still on commentary, Jim Ross and Excalibur did announce that there will be an 8-man tournament taking place over the next couple of weeks, with the finals of this tournament taking place at Full Gear. The winner of said tournament will become the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. There will be 8 men in this tournament, and so far we know of 3 men: Rey Fenix, Jungle Boy, and Kenny Omega. This kind of took Page by surprise, upset him a little bit, and he excused himself from commentary. Now here's my thinking of this. Is this tournament going to come down to Omega versus Page at Full Gear? I don't see why not. It'd be an amazing match. And putting the #1 contendership on the line as well would have those stakes so high that this do it now. Maybe Page gets himself put in the tournament. He goes to the finals. Omega goes to the finals. Here's an idea. He tells Kenny, why are you trying to go for the world title? We're a tag team. We got to get our titles back. And when Kenny says, oh no, we're not a team anymore, that makes Page mad. And so he says, fine. You don't want to team with me? Well, I'm going to ruin your opportunity. And so he's only in the tournament to try and stop Kenny from winning. Maybe. Just an idea. Just an idea. Next up, we have Chris Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy. Chris Jericho had the Inner Circle with him. Cassidy had Mark Quinn and Matt Hardy. And Jericho basically gave Cassidy the entire match. Almost the entire match. Cassidy got the upper hand right away, and Jericho bumped all over the place. Cassidy hit a series of strikes and used a magistral cradle for a 2. And I think it was JR that goes, oh, or you could also call that an Oklahoma roll. Jericho took a slingshot over the top to the floor. Cassidy teased a dive, but Jericho stepped away. Jericho got sent over the barricade when he went at Luther. Luther hit a right hand and clotheslined Jericho back over the barricade. Cassidy hit a tornado and a swanton bomb for a near fall. Jericho fired back with right hands and took control of the match before the break. At one point, Cassidy got his knees up on a lion salt attempt. He then hit his own lion salt and got a 2 off of it. Cassidy hit a code breaker and got another near fall. Finished the match and saw Cassidy go for a springboard, but jumped into a Judas effect. Jericho pinned him and picked up the victory. Chris Jericho, even though he made Isaiah Cassidy look good by bumping everywhere and taking all of his moves, Jericho still picks up the victory. Inner Circle then jumped in and attacked Cassidy after the match. Matt Hardy made the save with a chair and cleared the ring. Jericho and Hager then brawled with Luther and Serpentico after the match, so maybe that match takes place next week. Jake Hager and Chris Jericho. Actually, did it get announced? Yes, that match did get announced. Next week, Jericho and Hager will be taking on Luther and Serpentico on Dynamite. Excuse me. So going forward, we had like a semi-bachelor party with Miro and Kip Sabian. They were in an arcade. They were at a bad axe throwing place. And they said they were... I'm confused by this because they made it seem like this was the bachelor party, but then later, Rusev or Miro was talking about having to throw a bachelor party. Billy Mitchell, guy that has the world record for Donkey Kong, actually showed up and offered to help Miro throw a great bachelor party since he's the best man. Apparently, Mitchell knows how to throw good parties. Okay. All I know is Billy Mitchell is, I guess, he's got the record for the fastest time in Donkey Kong. Got the speedrun record. Other than that, I don't know anything about Billy Mitchell. I didn't know he was a party planner. And I thought this was the bachelor party. Because Miro was like, I got to throw a good bachelor party. But we're in a pandemic and we really can't do much and have a lot of people with us. What do we do? So this was weird. I didn't really care for it. And we'll see where it goes. Next up, Dasha was with Best Friends backstage. FTR would enter. They said, there's a spot on the card for Best Friends as a comedy relief act, but they're not top guys. Orange Cassidy then called FTR weenies, and Jim Ross really said, weenies? Can we say that on television? Weenies? I was like, really? Weenies is not a bad word. So next up, Orange Cassidy took on 10 of the Dark Order.
James, better known by his Cassidy, American professional wrestler and professional wrestler signed to All Elite Wrestling. Professional of an SB popular.
All right, Alexa, stop. I don't know what happened, but I just got a whole career breakdown of Orange Cassidy from my Amazon Echo. Anyways, Orange Cassidy comes out with Best Friends. 10 came out with Colt Cabana, John Silver, and Alan Angles. And I'm just going to say it right now, and some people may not agree with me. Many may not agree with me. John Silver is the opposite of funny. John Silver is cringe beyond belief. Not funny in the least bit. You know how funny he is? This much funny. Not even a little funny. To me, he's this much funny. No funny. I can't stand John Silver. When I see him on BTE, I almost want to turn it off. But I got to watch it because I got to make sure there's no news coming out of it. Well, 10 mocked Cassidy in his pocket spots. So did John Silver. 10 hit a spine buster and a pump kick before sending him into the barricade. Dark Order mocked the Best Friends hug spot, but that allowed Cassidy to hit a big dive off the post. Cassidy then hit the Super Orange Punch and a beach break, picking up the victory. Cool. Orange Cassidy defeats 10, and they made this seem like this was the hardest fought victory Orange Cassidy's ever gotten. Really? They're like, Orange Cassidy really had to work for this victory. Orange Cassidy really had his work cut out for him tonight. And I was like, not really. Match was short, and he didn't have to do too much. Then in a weird segment, MJF and Wardlow came into the Inner Circle's locker room and gave them some gifts. MJF had jackets for everybody except Sammy Guevara. MJF swore on his mother's life that he didn't leave Sammy out intentionally. MJF said that he was just there to congratulate Jericho on his win. Jericho asked MJF if he wanted to join the Inner Circle, and MJF said, "No, I'm asking you, do you want me to join the Inner Circle?" And this is when this has got hokey. We've seen this before. They've done this spot in the past. Jericho keeps saying, "Do you want to join the Inner Circle? Do you want to join the Inner Circle?" And at the same time, MJF keeps saying, "Do you want me to join the Inner Circle? Do you want me to join the Inner Circle? Do you want me to join the Inner Circle?" And it got too much. It was dumb the last time they did it. It was dumb this time they did it. Finally, MJF and Wardlow left, and Sammy Guevara called him a loser, but then Jericho said, "Wait, no. Perhaps he's not a loser." I don't know exactly what's going on here, but maybe Full Gear, Jericho versus MJF. That's where I'm seeing this go. We'll see. Next up, we got the in-ring return of Dr. Britt Baker. She had Rebel with her at ringside as she took on Red Velvet. And Jim Ross goes, "Oh, my favorite kind of cake." Literally, they go, and her opponent, Red Velvet. And you just hear Jim Ross, "Oh, my favorite kind of cake." So this was, I guess you could say, a squash match. Red Velvet got some offense in early, but both ladies had an okay showing. Like, nothing was messed up. It was a little slow, and they played that off on commentary really well, saying that Britt Baker's still coming back from her injury, and she's got to work a slower pace just to get back in the groove. So I did like the reasoning for the match kind of feeling slow. Velvet hit a leg lariat at one point and a bulldog that got her a 2. Baker used a hammerlock to set up a clothesline. Baker hit a butterfly suplex and did some taunting with some feint kicks. Baker used a misdirection spot to hit a sling blade. Baker then hit a neck breaker and a curb stomp to pick up the victory. Britt Baker does win here, but then after the match, Baker used the lockjaw. Don't know why she didn't use it as the finish. She put it on after the match, though. So then we got some matches announced for next week's show. As we stated earlier, Jake Hager and Chris Jericho will be taking on Luther and Serpentico. Will Hobbs will be challenging Brian Cage for the FTW Championship. And Cody will challenge Mr. Brody Lee for the TNT Championship in a dog collar match. Also, I believe next week is the Chris Jericho 30th anniversary special. So it's weird that Jericho is doing a match here with just, well, no, it's not weird. Actually thinking about it, Jericho working Luther on the 30th anniversary special makes 100%, makes sense 100%, because Jericho has been friends with Luther for almost his entire career. Like, him and Luther go all the way back these 30 years. So him working Luther on the 30th anniversary show, it makes as much sense if they could have got Lance Storm, because Lance Storm was Jericho's first match, but he faced Luther way back then as well. So it makes sense. It's somebody from the earlier days of his career. Eddie Kingston came to the ring with Pentagon and Phoenix, and he said he had to talk to Bryce Remsburg, and then we went to commercial. Again, another spot where we just went to commercial. So after the break, Kingston cut a promo. He said he fought Moxley for the title last week. Moxley put him in a bulldog choke, but he never verbally submitted. He never tapped out. He never said, "I quit." Yet, Bryce Remsburg ended the match, called for it to be finished. Kingston said that Moxley went to Tony Khan, or TK, as the kiss ass that he is, and got his contract for this week. Bryce Remsburg said, whoa. We've been friends for a long time, but when we come here into the ring, it's all business. And you were unresponsive last week. That's why I had to call for the match. It was more of, yeah, maybe you could have continued, but it was a safety thing where if you were unresponsive, I have to finish the match. I have to call it off. And so Eddie Kingston kind of was like, okay, but still upset. They then teased going after Bryce Remsburg, attacking him when Moxley would come down with a barbed wire bat. Kingston yelled for Moxley's music to be stopped, and he introduced Moxley's opponent. He said, he's not Pentagon, it's not Phoenix, it's the man right behind you, the Butcher. And my first thought was, really? Butcher? That's kind of, the match itself wasn't bad, but it's kind of a letdown when they could have brought somebody new in, or have been somebody that nobody was expecting that wasn't in Eddie Kingston's little tribe or group or whatever. With the AEW World title on the line, Jon Moxley defended against the Butcher. The Butcher dominated the first part of this match, and he kind of, and I've seen this before, Butcher sometimes seems a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Limited in his moveset. So he was clubbing and clobbering and squeezing Moxley here early, and then he started going after Moxley's leg. Apparently Moxley has a bum knee. Moxley made a comeback and put on a cross arm breaker. Butcher slid out into a single-legged crab and hit some punches from Mox's guard. And when Moxley put him in the arm breaker, Jericho wasn't on commentary, Jim Ross goes, well, we haven't seen the Butcher in this kind of position before. I wonder if his skill set can get him out of this, if he even knows how to get out of an arm breaker. And he gets out, and Taz goes, well, apparently he does. And I'm just like, Jim, he is challenging for the world title, and you're trying to tell us that he doesn't even know how to get out of these moves? That makes him seem like a not worthy opponent. It just seems like he's just a guy that may get caught. And then he gets out of the move, and Taz has got to be like, oh, see, no, he can do it. And Jim Ross does this a lot. Kind of downplays guys. The Butcher hit a power slam at one point for a 2. And then went back to the single-legged crab. Moxley then blocked another power slam. Butcher blocked a paradigm shift and tried to stretch muffler, but couldn't quite figure out how to put it on. They said on commentary, oh, he's going for a stretch muffler, but he never actually got it. Moxley then eventually just rolled to the outside. Butcher missed a charge and got sent into the barricade. Back inside the ring, they traded strikes. Butcher hit something resembling a crossbody and got a 2 off of it. Butcher hit a Uranagi and a leg drop for another near fall. Moxley hit a superplex, but Butcher grabbed his leg on the landing. Moxley fought off another Boston Crab attempt. Moxley then hit a pile driver and got a 2 off of it. Butcher blocked another superplex and hit a crossbody off the second rope for a 2. The finish then came when Moxley ducked a lariat and hit a paradigm shift. He followed up with the bulldog choke, and the Butcher tapped out. The Butcher taps, Moxley wins, And the show just goes off the air. Eddie Kingston don't do nothing. He stares at Moxley the whole time. Him, Pentagon, Phoenix, they just leave. They just walk up the ramp and leave. He doesn't like tease anything or nothing. And then they tell us, well, that's it for this match. Moxley's going to challenge or defend the title on the anniversary show against why can't I think of Lance Archer. And then the show just ends. So, I don't know. Kind of a lame duck main event. The match itself wasn't bad, but I was expecting more. I was expecting something better. With that was AEW Dynamite. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Moving over to NXT. The show opened up with Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai. We actually first got I guess you could say, breakdown of the Gauntlet Eliminator match and all the different things that happened in that match. Actually, I think I missed something here. There was an interview with the champions. It may have been later. I'm thinking it was before. Hold on. Let me check my notes, see if I maybe put something in the wrong spot here. No, I guess I didn't. So the first match of the night was Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai had Raquel Gonzalez with her at ringside. Blackheart had the shine from the outset. She grabbed Kai and tied her in some holds. Kai cut her off, and she began working her over. Blackheart sidestepped Kai, and Kai got caught on the ropes. Blackheart was going for her signature senton into the ropes when Gonzalez jumped on the apron for a distraction. That allowed Kai to deliver a backbreaker for a 2. So the show cut to picture-in-picture, and Kai got the heat on Blackheart. After the break, Blackheart made a comeback in which she finally delivered the senton she was going for earlier. She then hit a Tiger Driver and got a 2 off of it. Kai then hit some double knees and halted Blackheart's momentum. Blackheart escaped Kai's finisher. And then the fighting spilled onto the apron. They traded some kicks, and then just a crazy spot where I thought both women were dead. Just dead. So Dakota Kai goes for a backdrop on the apron, and they barely land on the apron. Right? They barely land on the apron, and both women crash to the floor. And I'm like, holy crap, one if not both of these women are hurt. And it took a minute before Dakota Kai actually got back up, to be honest. So Shotzi gets in the ring, and Rhea Ripley runs down. Rhea Ripley would then run down and attack Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota finally gets back into the ring, and the finish comes with Blackheart hit the ropes. Gonzalez tripped her. Again, like I said, Rhea Ripley came down, caused a distraction. Referee jumped out of the ring to separate those two. Kai missed a kick in the corner, and Blackheart rolled her up for a 3. So a lot of convolutedness at the end, but in the end, Shotzi Blackheart does pick up the victory. Going forward here, give me 1 second, guys. I have to check a message. Give me 1 more second, guys. Need to check something. We'll give a shout out to Zicky Dice, NWA wrestler, in the chat. That's cool. That's cool. So going forward, we learned that. Well, so this was weird. We got like a split screen segment hyping the Cruiserweight Championship match at Takeover with Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott. They cut promos on each other, debate style. Cool. After the debate debacle last night, I guess they just said, "Hey, let's what's the word I'm looking for? Capitalize on all the talk of the debate and do our own little debate here. I didn't really like this, especially since we were getting the face-to-face later on anyways. So that was supposed to be like a moderated debate style thing as well. So a vignette showed a mysterious character riding on a motorcycle. He or she had a poster for this Sunday's Takeover, crumpled it up or folded it up or whatever, and then it said, he or she is coming, 10/4/20. And they said something along the lines of coming home. But I don't know if this means coming home as far as like a real wrestler, not a real wrestler, but a wrestler that used to be in NXT and is no longer with WWE at all, or somebody that, I don't know, is on the main roster coming back to NXT, and it could be a male, it could be a female. I was thinking Robert Roode, but when Roode showed up on Raw this week, no, I'm not quite thinking Robert Roode. What if it's somebody like an Ember Moon making her big return from injury? Like I said before, Ember has been quiet as far as talking about her injury recently. So next up was a tremendous mini documentary profiling Kyle O'Reilly and his journey to his title shot on Sunday. I thought that was really cool to see. They did a really good job showing old clips and stuff of Kyle O'Reilly here. Sarah Schreiber then interviewed Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano ahead of their mixed tag team match in tonight's main event. They want to be the first married couple to both hold championships at the same time in NXT. And to do that, they have to win their matches on Sunday. They said it starts tonight and continues at TakeOver. Gargano was great, making snide remarks on Sarah. So next up, we got a little wacky segment here. Cameron Grimes had an invitational. It was, what did he call it? The Cameron Grimes. Oh, I don't even know the whole thing. I didn't write it down. It was something like the Cameron Grimes Invitational Straight to the Moon something or other. I don't know exactly. There was something in there about straight to the moon. Grimes said that he's got multiple challengers here tonight. And first off, he had one challenger. And the first challenger was Joey. What was it? Hold on. My notes just froze. Let me refresh that really fast. All right, here we go. So, first opponent was a guy that they said was from the 85-pound division. Guy got in the ring and immediately was hit with the cave-in double knees. Referee counted the 3. Grimes then went to introduce his next opponent, Joey Strong. He entered up on the stage and then was attacked by Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland took him out, came down to the ring, and he said, "Whoa, you're not supposed to be in this match. No, this isn't what's going on. He said, Mr. Regal did not approve of you to be in this little gauntlet tournament thing. So that ain't happening. That ain't happening." Grimes said it was nice to meet Holland, and he would shake his hand at a later time. However, Grimes told Holland that, he was not part of this match, and so he left. But he couldn't leave quite fast enough because Holland pummeled him until the referee called for a DQ when Holland would not break at a 5 count. So, cool. I don't really know what to make of this other than Cameron Grimes versus Ridge Holland is coming up. But then we also saw Cameron Grimes and what's his name? Dexter Lumis as well backstage. So I don't know what's going on, but Dexter Lumis is back. So we get a video. No, first off, Austin Theory cut a promo. He said he was more of the future than Kyle O'Reilly because Theory is younger than Kyle. He said Kyle O'Reilly to try to catch up with Austin Theory. And my thing is like, bro, what have you done? What have you done? Yeah, you're a former Evolve champion, but in WWE, what have you done? Nothing. We then got a Kushida vignette, and Kushida came out to take on Tony Nese. Nice snapped Kushida on the top rope early and had the advantage as they fell to the outside. Nice was posted shoulder first. Kushida gave him no quarter, displaying his new furier side. Like he had more, I guess you could say, fire. Kushida targeted the shoulder and the arm. He locked in the hoverboard lock, and Nice tapped out. This was all about making Kushida look like a killer going forward as far as him having his match with Dream coming up at TakeOver. Speaking of Dream, the lights went out and then turned purple. Dream appeared on the video screen. He said he looked best under the brightest of lights, and he would see Kushida on Sunday at TakeOver. So Kevin Grimes was walking around backstage selling his face, saying that he was hurt. He had a towel on it, and he said he was looking for Mr. Regal. Grimes would then run into Dexter Lumis, who just stared at him, never said a word. Grimes said, "You're a freak, man," and he stormed off. So after commercial break, Adam Cole was in the ring to cut a promo. He said for the last 3 years, Undisputed Era has dominated the NXT locker room and roster. He said they've done what they want, when they want, and nobody has been able to stop them. They had a prophecy saying that they would win every championship, and they did. The locker room knew not to cross the Undisputed Era. Then, their prophecy ended, and they lost their championships. People then felt that they changed. But Cole said nothing has changed. They are the same Undisputed Era that won War Games and dominated this brand. Cole then called out Austin Theory for running his mouth on Kyle O'Reilly. Theory came out on the stage, but he would knock it in the ring. Cole gave him 2 options. The first was to get in the ring and fight him, or stay there, don't move, and EU or UE would beat him down. Theory got in the ring, and the match was on. And there was an interesting verbiage by commentary. Now, I want you guys in the live chat or in the comments below to tell me if I misunderstood this or if I took this the wrong way. But there was a couple times on commentary where Tom Phillips stated that Adam Cole is more fired up and more aggressive because Kyle O'Reilly has earned himself a shot at the NXT Championship. Now, I took that as Adam Cole's mad that it's not him. He's mad that it's Kyle O'Reilly getting the title shot and not him. Did I look too much into that? Am I wrong? I think I might be wrong on this one, and I looked too much into it. But what if, and I don't think this is going to happen, but what if Finn Balor retains the title on Sunday because Adam Cole screws Kyle O'Reilly? Now, the two have had issues in the past, going all the way back to ROH and PWG, where they've had great bouts. But I don't know. Just the way Tom Phillips was talking on commentary made me think that Adam Cole was kind of upset that Kyle got the title shot and not him. I could be wrong about that, though. So Cole took the fight to Theory early. Cole followed him outside and gave him a pump kick on the floor. He went on to send him into the ring steps. And back in the ring, Cole gave him a neckbreaker for a 2. At one point, Cole made a comeback, and he got a 2 count after a backstabber. He then hit a pump kick and a Ushigoroshi that led to a near fall. Cole was smirking before he climbed the ropes. He went for a Panama Sunrise, and Theory blocked it into a backdrop. He super kicked Cole, and Theory gave Cole a Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2. They exchanged strikes here, and Cole super kicked Theory. A moment later, Theory went for his spinning drop kick again, but he ran into a super kick instead. Cole then hit another Ushigoroshi, and Cole delivered the last shot to pick up the victory. After the match, Cole looked into the cameras and cut a promo putting over Kyle O'Reilly. He said he is going to shock the world on Sunday, and it won't shock Cole. He knew how great he is, and to be honest, like I stated, it seemed a little bit like there's some dissension in Undisputed Era. Like, Adam Cole wants you to think that he's happy for Kyle, but he's really not. So I don't know if something's going to happen here where Adam Cole screws Kyle O'Reilly after the or out of the title on Sunday or not. We'll see, though. Going forward, Caden Carter took on Xia Li. Lee was very aggressive early on, and she took that aggression to Carter early. Lee hit her with several kicks but was unsuccessful on many cover attempts. Carter then kept kicking out, and Lee kept getting more frustrated. Carter created separation and started a comeback. They traded near falls till Carter cradled Lee and got the surprise victory. After the match, Lee was very angry. Carter offered her a handshake, and she helped her up. Lee shoved her. Casey Catanzaro got in the ring. She asked her what her deal was, and Xia Li left very angry. Next up, we got the face-to-face between Balor and O'Reilly. Shawn Michaels was the moderator, and this was done pre-taped. It wasn't done live in the ring or anything. This was done with the lights all turned down, and it was actually really good. They agreed to shake hands before sitting down. Balor congratulated Kyle on winning the Gauntlet qualifier, and Balor said he respected him as a competitor. Balor said he was looking forward to their match at TakeOver. O'Reilly said the feeling was mutual. Nothing but respect. I'm telling you right now, Kyle O'Reilly is the babyface of babyfaces right now. Shawn Michaels steered the conversation in a different direction, though. He asked Balor how he planned to prepare for O'Reilly, and Balor answered that he knew how good O'Reilly is as a wrestler. O'Reilly responded saying that Balor likes to stroke his own ego because Balor thinks he can beat him. O'Reilly went on to say that Balor's defeat was absolute certainty. Balor asked if Undisputed Era would get involved in their match on Sunday. O'Reilly said this Sunday is not about the Undisputed Era. This is his moment. Michaels asked about any conflict between the Undisputed Era if O'Reilly were to win the title. O'Reilly dismissed it altogether. Another reason why I think something's going to happen. They started mocking each other before getting more serious. They moved in closer and glared in one another's eyes. They kept jawing at each other. O'Reilly said him being an underdog was bullshit, and he vowed to win the title. Balor got the last word in by saying that O'Reilly had everything it takes to be NXT champion, and he would be if the title was on anybody else except himself. I thought this was great. It really built up the intensity to the match. It showed that Finn Balor is maybe not a full-blown heel, but not a babyface per se, and will do anything to win. And Kyle O'Reilly is that white meat underdog babyface that will go out there and scrap and claw to try to win the title. I like this a lot. I really, really like this a lot. So next up, we got the mixed tag team match. Give me 1 second to check another message. You never know if you get that message where you got some breaking news coming. All right, this was nothing. And let's block this person. All right, so we had a mixed tag team match. It was the North American champion Damian Priest teaming with the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai to take on Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, their takeover opponents. The two champions rushed into the ring to start brawling before the bell. The champs cleared the ring. Then the match began. Gargano tried to stick and move, but Priest mowed him down instead. He gave him a sidewalk slam, and Gargano crawled over to tag out. Shirai and LeRae squared off. They started a slugfest. They countered and reversed each other, and LeRae tried to roll up for a 2. Shirai gave LeRae a flapjack, and Gargano jumped into the match to make the save. He got in Shirai's face. Priest then stepped in and rocked Gargano with a kick. Shirai delivered running knees, and the Garganos rolled outside. At one point, Shirai fired up and gave Candice LeRae a German suplex. Priest, he came in off of a hot tag and cleaned house on Gargano. Priest hit a broken arrow for a near fall. Gargano escaped a razor's edge attempt, and he springboarded into a tornado flatliner on Priest. Shirai tagged in, and she hit Gargano with a springboard missile dropkick. LeRae bumped and fed for Shirai as she applied a crossface. Gargano broke the hold by dragging Shirai away. Priest then came around the ring and grabbed Gargano by the throat. Gargano blocked a chokeslam, and he hopped on the apron. Shirai kicked him off, though. But when she turned her back, boom, there was LeRae. Shirai turned around and hit a small package, and LeRae got a 2. LeRae then, after a senton and missed a lion salt, Shirai hit double underhook backbreaker and climbed the turnbuckles. As she set up for a moonsault press, Gargano got back in the ring to roll his wife out of the way. Roll her to safety, basically. Gargano was talking trash as Priest gave him a bell clap. Priest with the cyclone kick on Gargano, and then Shirai followed with the moonsault on Gargano. Again, the women can hit the men, but the men can't touch the women. LeRae then came into the ring and gave Priest a low blow behind the referee's back. Gargano caught Priest with a slingshot DDT and covered him to pick up the victory. After the match, LeRae gave Shirai a backstabber, and the two grabbed the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT North American Championship, and stood tall with the titles. The last thing we do see here are the heel challengers standing over the babyface champions as we go into TakeOver this coming Sunday night. And speaking of NXT TakeOver 31 does come to us this Sunday night live on the WWE Network, and we do have 5 matches so far announced for the show. I can see these 5 matches being the 5 matches for the show, but I can also see a kickoff match or a pre-show match being added as well. But as of right now, we have 4 title matches and 1 non-title match. So let's give some predictions. Let's do some predictions for NXT TakeOver. First off, we do know that Kushida will be taking on the Velveteen Dream. Now, today on the NXT conference call, Triple H is really putting over Velveteen Dream as the consummate professional, the one true constant in NXT. And he also said Kushida's good, but I think Dream picks up the victory over Kushida, unfortunately. Next up, with the NXT Cruiserweight Championship on the line, Santos Escobar will be defending against Isaiah Swerve Scott. And I'm a little torn on this one. Last time we saw this match, Santos Escobar won because he cheated. He had a loaded mask. He put a loaded mask on, headbutted Swerve, and picked up the victory. Now, I know they really like Swerve. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Swerve wins. Swerve becomes the new Cruiserweight champion. And I wouldn't be upset about that at all. I think Isaiah Swerve Scott is great. Next up, with the NXT North American Championship on the line, Damian Priest will be defending against Johnny Gargano. And I'm going to just say it right now. I'm going to go Johnny Gargano because of one reason and one reason only. Because in the next match with the NXT Women's Championship on the line, Io Shirai will be defending against Candice LeRae. And I think Candice wins as well, and we finally get Johnny and Candice. And I can be 100% completely wrong on this, but I think Johnny and Candice, that married couple champion. First ever married couple, both as champions at the same time. I think we get it this Sunday. I think we get it, Johnny and Candice. Now, I could be wrong on this one, but I think it's time to do it. And finally, in the main event, with the NXT Championship on the line, Finn Balor will be defending against Kyle O'Reilly. Regardless, I'm going Finn Balor. I think Adam Cole maybe screws Kyle O'Reilly, but even if he doesn't, I still think Finn Balor wins. And then they do this long, slow build to get Kyle O'Reilly back to the championship opportunity. But with that, I'm going Finn Balor to retain the NXT Championship. So with that, guys, those are my predictions for NXT TakeOver 31. NXT TakeOver 31 comes to us this Sunday live on the WWE Network, and we will be live right here, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited afterwards to talk about everything that went down on that show. With that, if you want to be part of tonight's show, remember you can text in to 510-906-1341. We do got a couple of text messages here. Person says, what are we supposed to think of Colt Cabana and the Dark Order? Like, are they ever going to turn him heel or what? I don't know. Because when you watch BTE, he's not even at all associated with Dark Order. And I know sometimes BTE and the regular Dynamite show and whatnot work together with storylines, and sometimes they don't. So I don't know what the whole thing with Colt Cabana and the Dark Order is, to be honest. And this last text message here does state, if we do get Adam Cole screwing Kyle O'Reilly, could we maybe get Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole on opposite teams for War Games? That would be interesting, but I did hear that we may not be getting a War Games this year. So I don't know. But that would be interesting to see who would side from EU with Kyle and who would side with Cole, and then who else they would add to their teams. That would be an interesting dynamic, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because honestly, I don't think we're getting War Games this year. And this person here says, I've been thinking about the mystery person in NXT, and I've come to the conclusion of a Bo Dallas. Your thoughts? So here's why people have been thinking Bo Dallas. Because when we got the first vignette last week, Dave Meltzer said Bo Dallas as a joke. And everybody took it as a report. And it wasn't. Dave joked about it being Bo Dallas. I'm going to now say, because I thought it was Robert Roode. Robert Roode's on Monday Night Raw now. So now I'm going to have to go maybe Ember Moon. Maybe Ember Moon's making her big return. It says tonight they said something about coming home. Ember Moon's maybe coming home. Well, that's what I'm going to predict this is. Ember Moon. We'll find out this Sunday when this mystery, male or female, does make their return or debut or something in NXT. And Howard Bubba says, hey, Tim, never met with Zicky Dice. No, I have never met Zicky Dice. So with that, guys, I want to thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. If you missed any of this show or any of our previous live reviews, you can check those out. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. We'll be live again Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. So have a good night, and we'll see you next time.